Hi, this is Beastly Eel with another Eel Talk. And on this episode, we are talking about episode 5 of The Falcon and Winter Soldier. If you have not seen the episode yet, please pause and watch the episode. There are spoilers ahead, and this one was a doozy. Excellent episode. So the episode starts pretty much where the last one ended, with Walker killing the guy. And we see that everyone's videotaping it, which isn't all that shocking. We kind of saw that in the last episode. But what we see is him running. And he's running. And it turns out he's going back to his partner. And we see him start to unravel mentally. Falcon and Winter Soldier are there. And they try to talk to him and try to explain to him that he's in big trouble and he's going to have to pay for what he did. I mean, they try to say it in a nice way, but realistically, that's what it comes down to. And Walker it visually looked like Walker was agreeing with them until Falcon said, I'm going to need that shield. And that's when he went berserk. And they fight. Now, this was an excellent fight scene. It starts off with Walker pretty much kicking their butt. And it was a really great fight scene. They're fighting each other. It's kind of back and forth in the sense of like, I feel bad for Sam, for the Falcon, because he kind of is out of his element. Not that he doesn't fight, but those two are now super soldiers, and that's a whole different class of people. But anyway, the Winter Soldier and Falcon had to break Walker's arm to get the shield off before they could get it done. So that's actually how the episode begins. The main episode didn't even friggin' start. So, and I forgot to mention, Walker rips Falcon's wings off. Interesting enough. So anyway, Winter Soldier and Falcon are kind of waiting. Now they're just Sam and Bucky, kind of just sitting around waiting. Sam has the shield. Winter Soldier basically leaves, telling Sam, if you find her, let me know. And they kind of leave on, I don't want to say odd terms, because realistically it's the same terms they've always been on. Not really wanting to care for each other, but like do at the same time. It's a very weird partnership, but I think that's what makes it so interesting. So Falcon's or Sam's partner from the beginning of the show comes in, and he's talking with him and explaining, what happened and kind of what the government's stating, and pretty much telling Sam that the government's getting involved and we don't have a say in the matter, and we're kind of done here, and we don't have a choice. Sam shows him his wings. He doesn't really tell his partner how the wings got destroyed. I think he kind of put two and two together, but he didn't actually state it. But he takes the shield and he leaves. And the guy's like, well, what about your wings? He goes, keep them. I don't need them anymore. So we now go to Bucky, who meets up with Zemo. Which, I mean, was I surprised? No. I knew it wasn't the end of Zemo, and I had a feeling Winter Soldier knew more about Zemo than he let on to Sam. So they meet up, And it's a casual conversation, which escalates very quickly. And Zemo basically tells Bucky that the only way she's going to be stopped, meaning the head of the Flag Smashers, the only way she's going to stop is if you remove her. Um, Bucky doesn't take too kindly to that, and he pulls a gun on Baron Zemo. It looks to me like Zemo's ready for it, like he's just hoping that this is the end. He pulls the trigger and nothing happens. Bucky shows him all the bullets and drops him to the ground, and that's when the Wakandans come in and take him away. Before they leave, he has to speak to her, and she told him it'd probably be best that you stay away from Wakanda for a little bit, and he agreed. But he asked for a favor. We don't get to hear what the favor is, but that was the end of it. And that's the end of that scene. What we now have is Sam meeting Isaiah? Isaac. I feel bad not remembering his name. But he was going to be the first black Captain America, and it did not end well. So that's where he goes with the shield. So he meets the old man in the back, and the guy doesn't want anything to do with it. He doesn't want anything to do with the shield or anything. Sam wanted to know everything. He wanted to know where it all went wrong. And he tells Sam that nobody wanted a black man to be Captain America. But Sam wanted to know details. He wanted to know exactly what the issue was. So he explains exactly what happened. Him and his squadron basically are experimented on without their permission. But it's all that not surprising at all with the military. They do that all the time. Um, and as that goes on, he explains to him that not all of his men survived. Many of them died right away. 2 were captured. I believe he said 2 were captured. And he remembered hearing the other scientists or military men or a combination of the two talking about how they were going to bomb and obliterate where they were captured to hide the evidence. And he wasn't okay with that. They weren't evidence to him. They were his brothers in arms. He breaks out, saves his buddies, and brings them back. Apparently they died. I imagine from complications, but it could have been from experimentation. He was put into prison and experimented on relentlessly to try to recreate the formula because it worked on him better than the others. And it turns out that he probably still would have been in prison had it not been for a nurse that faked his paperwork to say he had died. And he got to be out. But when he got home, there was nobody left. His wife was gone, dead. And he has his, I don't know if it's his grandson or if it's his great nephew. And that's all he has left. And telling Sam that there's no way anybody, because of the history of the shield, no self-respecting black man should have that shield, is what he said to him. He takes it, well, it looks like he takes it to heart, and he leaves. When he leaves the place, he calls his sister and says he's coming home. So when he gets home to his sister, they realize they can't fix the boat. By themselves. And they can't sell it either because nobody wants a piece of crap boat. He kind of tells her a little bit about what happened, but not much. He keeps a lot of it a secret. And then he comes up with a plan to decide to call in for all the favors that his parents did for the neighborhood to have them help with the boat. So the next day, there were crowds of people dropping off stuff, paint, equipment, um, everything you can think of that's needed to fix the boat. And Bucky returns, and he drops off a case. It was a case that he said that I asked the Wakandans to make for you. It was my last favor. He doesn't open it. So they all help and actually fix the boat. It takes a while. Um, Bucky's ready to leave, but Sam tells him to stay with him, probably for the best. So the next day, they get kicked out of working on the boat because the sister was like, "You're doing it wrong." And they go to, I'm assuming, I think it's their home, but he starts practicing with the shield with Bucky, and the two of them are bouncing it off and grabbing it together. And they have a real heart-to-heart conversation. Bucky really explains why the shield meant so much to him. Because it was the last bit of family he had left. And if it was lost, he thought he was lost. And Sam kind of explains to him why he didn't want the shield. And then he also explains to Bucky that he has to really help the people he's trying to make amends with. Not just hurting the people who he helped when he was the bad guy, but helping the ones he hurt and explaining and giving them closure so they know what happened. So Bucky took that to heart and agreed and left and said, "Let me know when you get information and I'll be glad to come and help you." So it's clear that Sam has decided to take on the mantle of Captain America in some sort of capacity because he starts training hard. Now, granted, his sister kind of not persuaded him, but kind of said, "You get to pave your own way and you do what you need to do." So he starts to train, and I mean train hard, learning how to use the shield and everything. Getting used to throwing it around, flipping around, all the stuff, right? While he's training, the flag smashes. Oof, I'm sorry. While he's training, I did forget something. John Walker, he gets court-martialed, I think is what the term is called. I don't know. He's in front of the court anyway. He gets his title removed. He loses his benefits, and he retires without anything because of his actions. And he makes a big scene, not happy about it whatsoever. But he leaves. And he's met with Val. Constantine? No? Constantine? No. I'll call her Val, even though she doesn't like it. And she kind of explains to him that she knows everything that happened, knows about the serum and everything, and how he's the kind of man who can get stuff done. And she told him to make sure he answers the phone when she calls. And that was awkward, but it made sense. I'll explain that a little bit later. So then we have the Flag Smashers in New York, and our Russian friend returns, giving her weapons and everything else. And her partner's kind of like, "What's going on? Since when do we work with criminals?" And she's like, "Haven't you heard? We are criminals now." So the Russian guy, kind of just wants to kill somebody, and that's all he wanted to do. And he's like, "I'm not part of this movement." And she goes, "You're going to do what you need to do." And she gathers a huge amount of people. And then the GSN, they hack into it, pretty much take it over. Now, while this is going on, Sam gets a phone call from his buddy, the tech expert, and explaining how each of the blips were in Europe, and then there was a recent one in New York. And Sam put two and two together real quickly and said, "All right, I'll take care of it from here." He opens up the case that Bucky gave him, but we do not get to see what's in it when the episode ends. Credits go, credits go, credits go. And then there's a mid-credit scene, or I don't know if it's considered an end credit scene because there was only one, but it doesn't matter. Walker is building another shield, getting himself ready to be the U.S. agent. So, lots to unpack here. Sam is officially taking on the mantle of Captain America in some sort of capacity. Bucky is realizing that Sam's right and he has to kind of do more for people instead of just hurting them to make him feel better. Baron Zimo's captured. Sharon Connor is acting more and more like a villain right now. I'm thinking she was like the go-to person between the Flag Smasher and the Russian guy. I think she still might be the power broker, or at least a high enough lieutenant for him or her. John Walker's definitely going to be the U.S. agent. He's going to be part of that agency with Val, even if it's just a mercenary. Yeah. So Falcon's going to be in his new Captain America outfit. I think it's going to be his wings are red, white, and blue. I'm going to take a guess here. Or just red and white. It could be just red and white. Bucky's going to help him. They're going to fight. And I think they're going to. I don't think they're going to kill her. I think they're going to capture her. But we'll see. There's only one episode left. So this is going to be the final fight. We're going to find out exactly what happens and kind of where the series is going to go. Because I think this is going to be multiple seasons. So, yeah. That's pretty much all my thoughts on this one. Definitely an excellent episode. Emotional roller coaster. Great story arc for this. I kind of wish that this was kind of like the first couple episodes instead of the last couple episodes, but that's just me personally. But overall, great episode. As always, if you like the content you see here, please like and subscribe below. As always, this is Beastly Eel signing out. Have a good night.